Good morning. Welcome to the show. This is Real Talk, real issues seeking real solutions. Today we have a special show. We've been doing shows from incarcerated individuals inside the Alabama Department of Correction on the men's side. Today we're going to talk with a recently released incarcerated citizen from JuliaTutweiler prison. Could you give us a little insight into the violence, if any, is currently going on?
Yeah, I can. Currently there's a lot of I would say there's a lot of who are inmate on inmate contact more than there is the officers, but there has been incidents recently. Right before I left, there was an incident where they had to handcuff a girl, and when they did, one of the sergeants kept pushing her down the hallway and kept pushing her down the hallway. And the girl told her that as soon as I get out of these handcuffs, I'm going to show you what you're pushing on. And they physically got into an altercation. And, they're supposed to be signing a piece of paper called use of force, but she did not get in trouble for it. The officer did not get in trouble for it. They actually got to fighting, fighting, her and another officer and an inmate. And I don't think the girl was too bad harmed or anything, but she got put in stag. The officer was told not to have any contact with the women on the top of the hill, and she still does. Of course, they don't. They haven't stopped any of it. Her contact with anybody. There was one officer that opened the stag door for somebody to get jumped on who has a broken arm. There's it's just a whole bunch of stuff that I would have never thought that you would see in a women's prison,
Right. And it does come down to corruption and covering each other's misdeeds up within the system. We see that a lot with going on in this men's prison.
Absolutely. I mean, there's more back and forth going on. I've been incarcerated 4 times at Tutweiler, and this last incarceration was the worst I can say that I've seen it. I've actually been pulled up on. We have an outside grounds officer that works, was working. He no longer works there apparently, but he pulled up behind me in the work truck and was threatening me, telling me if I didn't go back to the office, that you don't know who the fuck you're playing with, just comments like that you wouldn't think that an officer would say to an inmate. And he did not get in trouble for it. He did not get in trouble for the threats. I was supposed to have been written up, but they never did hold through with the write-up. But it was just the fact that he pulled up on me in the work truck out in the middle of a field. You know what I'm saying? Anything could have happened, and I don't believe that was the proper way of going about things.
The abuse from the officers, is that pretty much common practice there?
Certain cases, yeah. There's more verbal abuse than I have seen physical abuse. Yeah, they're very harsh with their words. They do bash you. They talk down on you. They talk about people's cases with other inmates. I call it targeting, really. Like if certain people come in there on certain type of crimes, just like in the men's prison, they do target them. I believe there's more verbal and mental abuse than I have seen physical.
Yes, I'd like to ask you this question also. There's a video on YouTube surfaced a few months back. It was titled Hot Boys. Supposedly they were actually guards that were working at Tutweiler prison, and they were taking either by threat of violence or by force up in these towers and forcing these ladies to perform sexual acts with them. Could you expound on that any, if possible?
Personally, I have not I have not seen much or heard much about it, but I have heard about it. I have heard that they used to force them to go into the towers, have sex with them, and if they didn't, they would say that they were trying to harass them and get them locked down. But I heard it used to be in a building back behind where the not intake, but where the receiving is. I heard that's where it happened at, and most of the time it's up in the high towers. But
Hey, I'm going to jump in with a question. Since you mentioned the building, the place out back, was that the trailer out back?
well, there's two trailers. There's one trailer that they were trying to make for the young offenders that would come in. They got doula in it, which is a pregnant women. That's where they go into. But they were building on that, so it might have happened during the time that they were actually moving it in and getting everything together and stuff like that.
Oh,
I
the
believe
reason
that's
the
probably
reason
what
I
happened.
asked is because I heard that they used to do backdoor abortions in the trailer back there.
Well, there is in fact two trailers right there in receiving. Anybody that pulls up at the back can actually see that that's what it is. There's two trailers right there. If those are the two trailers, I'm not too sure. But I do know that there's sheds right there too by the security guards, by the security towers. And maybe it might have been placed there. I'm not sure, but there's a lot of sheds back there.
Could you elaborate for us on the quality of health care provided for these women and the quality of health care provided for the expecting ladies there?
Well, we as inmates, we call it death care because they will let you die there. They do not exercise their rights, our rights like we're supposed to. Sick calls are $4. Any medicine that you get off the sick call is $4. Any type of appointment, doctor's appointment, or dental appointments, or anything like that can be anywhere between $10 to $20. Even if you do a walk-up, say if you're having chest pain, and you got to do a walk-up for chest pain, which you're not supposed to get paid, you're not supposed to pay for it, but they charge you $8 for the walk-up, and $4 for each pill that they give you. Like if it's a Tylenol or something like that, it's $4 more. There has been 2 incidents where people have recently died. One lady was on dialysis, and I'm sure her family, once they hear, they'll know that I'm speaking on her. I can't really remember her name, but she died from dialysis. The two tubes that are in your arm, they put them backwards, and how it was supposed to be going in and out, it went out and in, and it killed her instantly.
Oh my
And
goodness.
yeah, and there the girl that I was talking about that got jumped on, her arm was broke. And they're just now, I think her arm's been broke for maybe 6 weeks, maybe a little bit longer than that, and they're just now doing surgery on it. So she's been walking around the prison with a broken arm, jumped on and everything, and is just now getting proper health care.
My goodness.
Yeah.
But that's par for the course of the Alabama Department of Corrections at this current time. Everything's just going downhill and to hell in a handbasket, if you will.
Oh, what I was going to also bring up too is that it was brought to my attention that the food at Tutweiler, they are letting size and leaving stuff out. They're using like a week-old stuff and rebaking food with it. There's mold and rats and roaches all over the kitchen. Before I actually got fired from the kitchen, I had made some grits, and in the grits there was weevils and maggots, just in that one pot of grits that I made. And down at the annex where other women are facilitated at, their food has to be carried down there to them. And those food canisters can sit for at least 2 to 3 hours before they even get to the inmates to be served out. So all the food starts spooling and stuff. So I was also told to bring that up. So
now I was going to ask you about that. You know, I saw a video here recently with a journalist that came inside JuliaTutweiler a while back and stayed 10 days, and she done a documentary on it. And you know, we showed some pictures and some video of the food that was being served there, and you know, to me that just looked horrible. You know, I've seen pictures of the food the men are eating, and they're bad. It's bad across the board. However, it looks like JuliaTutweiler is really at the bottom of all that. And
it's really bad. It's I mean, I've never really seen a place that would. They actually treat us like we're in the humane society. I mean, that's how bad it is. Like, there was a girl that was at the annex not too long ago, and she was exposed to carbon monoxide poisoning. And it took them 4.5 days before they even called the fire department out there with the alarms going off. And they called the gas company, and then they still waited another day before they even actually tried to come out there and fix it. So, and 3 of the lieutenants said that it wasn't a gas alarm, it was something else.
The
that might have
batteries.
went bad.
They were saying the batteries were bad. Yeah, and it was actually a carbon monoxide leak.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And they still didn't do anything about it. All they done was ran a pipe out, cut the hot water heaters back on, and they said that they kind of fixed the monitor, but I haven't heard nothing from the girl that was there. But yeah, it was bad. They don't give us tissue like they're supposed to. You know, the state's supposed to provide all hygiene, toiletries, clothes, shoes, etc. And they were limiting 250 women to 9 rolls of tissue paper. 250 women, 9 rolls of tissue, split up, and no hand soap for, you know, cleaning or anything like that. So, I mean, it's really bad from the inside.
let me ask you one more thing. Is there rampant drug abuse there, and are there any programs available for rehabilitation there at JuliaTutweiler?
The only programs that they have for any of the inmates to get out, they have this program called the reentry program. And the success rate on it is very low. All they do is get you a Social Security card and give you certain types of credentials that could possibly help you on the outside, but they do not physically and mentally and emotionally help inmates to try to readjust to society. The reoffending rate is so high, especially for the women, because there's nothing that they are doing to help them. The only successful thing that I could say that I've ever heard from that might help anything is the ATEF program. That's the only program that I have seen have any type of success rate, parole grant guarantees, you know, stuff like that. That's what I would think that people would want to go for, you know, to re-enter the last 6 months or something like that, you know. But other than that,
There's nothing like substance abuse program, crime bill, anger management, reality therapy, any of those programs that they're not available there. Is that what you're saying?
no, yes, they do have crime bill. You have 1 minute remaining. They have staff, they have anger management, they have certain classes there at the prison, but they do offer them. They are there for you to take, but the success rate is not very good.
Okay. Well, we want to thank you for being on the show today, and you know, you've been a great asset to getting this message out to the public, and it will get out to the public.
All right, thank you so much, and I appreciate you having me on the show, and anytime you need me, I'm just one phone call away.
Okay. Thank you, and
Thank
you have a nice
you.
day.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for using Global Telling.
Well, we had an interesting show today. I want to thank you all for tuning in. And make sure you like, subscribe, and share this channel. We are a public service channel dedicated to bringing the corruption and abuse that is currently going on inside the Alabama Department of Corrections. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next time on Real Talk.